All right, welcome to one of our firearm reviews. We're going to start on our channel, posting some of the cool reviews of interesting items that we get in here at the shop. And man, I'm really excited about this one. It's been coming for a while. This is the Springfield Armory Prodigy. Springfield Armory Prodigy is new to the market product for them. It's something like they've never made before. It's essentially a 2011. They're calling it the 1911 DS Prodigy. DS stands for double stack. So this is a 9mm product. It comes in two different sizes. We've got a 4.5 inch and we've got a 5 inch. And we're going to show both of these items clear. Just for demonstration purposes, we are in the studio. There is no ammunition present. We have empty magazines and we do have clear slides. Okay, nothing in the chamber, not of either of these. These are, I will tell you, I had a chance to play with these for about 5 minutes before we ran into the studio. These are items that we've received here at Cross Rifles for the retail shop, and I want to get them out there as fast as possible. It's a brand new product. It was just announced yesterday, or I think it was leaked yesterday on YouTube of all places, and it was announced today. I got an email probably around 1 o'clock from Springfield talking about their new product. It was not on their website prior to that. I've got the website pulled up over here on my personal computer so that I can go through some of the specs. Just because it's such a new product, I haven't had much of a chance to get it out and shoot this thing, and I want to sell these new at the shop here. So we're going to talk about them, show them to you guys, get your first look. I will say this, in the 5 minutes I had a chance to play with these things before we ran into the studio and got set up, they feel amazing. Okay, you got to know something about me when we're talking about Springfield and when we're talking about 1911s. The very first firearm I ever purchased when I was 21 years old, about 20 years ago now, was a Springfield 1911 in .45. Springfield 1911 A1. In fact, I am wearing it on my hip today while we do this video. I put it on this morning at the house, full well knowing that these were going to show up today. I got notice about 3 days ago that these were on the way to the shop. So I'm impartial to a Springfield 1911, and I will tell you, I do not own a 2011. I've had plenty of Staccatos here through the shop. We've had some of the Rock Island 2011s. Our previous gunsmith, who he was a military veteran, and he's recently went back to some military contracting jobs. He purchased a Rock Island 2011 in 10mm. Had a chance to shoot that. Felt great, but man, it didn't feel like these. So let's talk a little bit about these firearms. I'll grab this one. This is what I would call a duty gun of all duty guns. I'm sure they're going to be used for competition and race gun purposes, but they come straight from the factory, as you see here. It does not feel large and thick gripped like a 2011 typically would. Of course, this is a 9mm, which gives it a little bit thinner profile. It comes with two different size magazines. Comes with a 17-round magazine that fits flush. That's the magazines that I just removed. And it comes with a 21-round magazine. The 21-round magazine, I'm sorry, that's a 20-round magazine, 20 plus 1. 20-round magazine doesn't stick out that far either. Does have the ability, I believe, they said a 26-round magazine that they sell for this as well on Springfield.com. So it comes with those two different options. It's got an interesting feel to the grip. Reading through some of their marketing material, this has the same stipple and feel pattern as the Hellcat and the Hellcat Pro. It's that same polymer grip that they've got going on. It does have a dual side, so an ambidextrous safety that's attached to the frame there. That safety is easy to get to if you are a lefty or a righty. It's the same size on both, which is something I like to see on a little bit nicer 1911. The interesting thing that you'll notice right off of the bat is it is cut for an optic. We're going to come back to that in a second. The trigger on these things, I dry fired when they first came in. I will tell you, phenomenal. That there's no other word for it. I am a 1911 fanatic. I'm not a pro by any means. I just like really cool guns, and I like 1911s. I've got a gun room here at the shop. What's the benefit of owning your own gun shop if you can't have a gun room? I've got a gun room here at the shop, and I've got a stack, 8 1911s that I just keep hanging here in my office. I've got a few 1911s I actually use for what I would call duty guns. I've got a 1911 that sits in my nightstand safe. It's got a light on it, TLR1HL. I absolutely love it. And that's one of the benefits of this particular one, is it does also come with that rail. So you can see on both options, we've got a few more slots on the longer slide and barrel, but it does come with a full Picatinny rail along the bottom. So you can just go grab a stream light, grab any of your favorite lights, and you'll be able to throw that right on there from the factory. Couple other things that you'll notice about this: it's got serrations on the front and the rear, and of course the marketing purposes there is that you're going to be able to get plenty of grip. I'm sure there's a grip zone joke in there somewhere. It does come with the sights that I see a lot of my customers prefer. It's going to be that same U-notch sight that you'll find on the Hellcat. That U-notch goes all the way through to a nice fiber optic front sight. And we've seen Springfield switch over to that here in the recent years, and we get a lot of love from it here in the shop, and it's something that people point out pretty regularly. So if you haven't had a chance to play with that, one of the things I want to point out here is this this Optic mounting system. So I'm gonna kind of read you some of their marketing right off of their website here. The Agency Optics System, that's what they're calling this, the AOS. It was developed in collaboration with Agency Arms, and the idea behind this is that each optic is going to have its own individual plate. This does come with this particular plate right here. It's got a QR code on it so you can identify what it is and what it goes to. Again, the interesting thing you'll see here is it's got the rear sight built right into that plate. So that rear sight is made for the optics that are going to go on this plate so that you will have a perfect co-witness every single time. Pretty innovative idea there. We know that a lot of times the rear sights can be built into the plate and it just goes away if you need to mount a red dot or an optic to your pistol. And so that's an interesting idea, and knowing the height and which size co-witness is going to be necessary. In fact, this actually looks like it would be removable as well. It's just dovetailed in there. So that's a pretty interesting idea. I do have an Optic fitment chart here. Additional plates look like they're about $60 on Springfield. That means you're probably going to be able to get them slightly less at your local gun shop. Some of the options available right off of the bat, already on their website and already available to ship. This is for the Hex Dragonfly. We know that that's what's shipping with a lot of the Springfield pistols these days, is those Hex optics. So this is set for the Hex Dragonfly. I might be wrong there, maybe the Hex Wasp. I'd have to double check the nomenclature there. But you can purchase for a Hex Wasp, which is also your Holosun 507 series, the Shield RMS-C and the Shield RMS-2. The Hex Dragonfly is also available as its own. Trijicon RMR SRO Holosun 407 series is another plate that you can purchase. They do have one available for the Leupold Delta Point Pro, EOTech EFLX, and also the Aimpoint Acro, and then they've got a whole separate one for the Holosun 509. Now I will point out on their website, currently as of today, which is the first day of release, the Aimpoint and the Holosun 509 series plates are sold out already. I'm assuming they probably have not actually had them for sale or in stock yet. Maybe some manufacturing issues. We all know that we're dealing with the new normal of 2022. So to get back to these firearms, the first thing you'll notice when they come in is we had a gaggle of employees around these. I've been talking about them all day because we knew that we wanted to get this review done for you all so that you could come in and check them out real quick. I also, being the 1911 snob and fanatic that I am, have been telling everybody it's going to be very difficult to not snag one up for myself. These are gorgeous. I mean, they come with a nice black Cerakote finish. We're seeing more manufacturers use Cerakote straight from the factory as their finished product, and I can't agree more. As a Cerakote certified shop ourselves, we absolutely love the coating. It's very durable. It's very resistant to some chemical corrosion. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of protection with your coating here. It comes professionally done, as you would expect from any large manufacturer. One of the things that you'll see here is that this is a forged frame and a forged slide. So you've got a lot of durability and you've got a lot of ability for them to machine really high quality parts here. Again, you've got a phenomenal trigger. You've got a standard 1911 feel, a little bit of a flared mag wheel design to it, which is probably going to make it easier to get those mag changes done. And I would say that you could not go wrong with these. Now, as far as manufacturing pricing goes, we're seeing all over the board for what they're selling. I jumped on Gunbroker before I could come in here. Of course, manufacturer suggested retail pricing is never something that you'll typically see them selling for in the shop. As a new product, you might get up there a little bit. It seems like the average right now is around $1,700 on Gunbroker. There were a few places that had them posted at $19.99 this morning. I think they're just trying to take advantage of that real quick purchase. Somebody wants to be the first one in their county to have one, probably get an extra couple $100. I don't fault them all at all. As a local retailer, that'll pay your week's light bill or maybe part of your employee's payroll. So yeah, sell them for what your local market can handle. Here at the shop, we're probably looking around $16.29, $16.49 to begin with. I'm sure that these will work their way down towards that $1,500 mark pretty quickly in the next 3 to 4 months as they become commercially available. A couple other things I want to point out about this particular product is that it does have, again, that adaptive grip texture. That's what they're calling it. It's a wrap-around adaptive grip texture. And if you want to know what one of these feels like, without putting one in your hand, you might not have one locally available. If you go find a shop that's got that Hellcat Pro, it's a similarly sized grip, and it's that exact same texture. That we've never had a complaint from anybody that walks in here in the shop. Maybe we're showing them a couple different options between some Sig Sauer options or some Glock 43Xs and that Hellcat Pro. Anything that you're looking at in that category for that concealed carry, a little bit larger concealed carry in these days, this is going to have that exact same texture. So you won't go wrong with that. You'll be able to compare very easily. Match grade 4.25 or 5-inch barrel, as we mentioned before. It is a bull barrel and it is full stainless steel, so you're going to get a lot of rounds out of that, a lot of durability there as well. It's only available in 2 configurations. That's the 4.25 and the 5, or you can purchase it with the Hex Dragonfly. And I think that probably, I'm looking at the offerings on the website right now, that probably clears up the plate. That's the Dragonfly plate, if I had to guess, because that's the gun, or that's the optic that you can purchase the gun with. So those are the only 4 options that you can get from Springfield currently. We all know these large major manufacturers, probably going to be some additional little options here and there down the road. It does appear that a lot of the parts are interchangeable. We know that these magazines are interchangeable with most of your standard 2011 magazines as well. There was one leaked review, somebody that knew a little bit about this product months ago, apparently was involved in some marketing. I was reading through some forums last night, getting prepared for today, and they had tried the magazines in their Staccato, and it had worked fine. Staccato magazines had actually worked cross-match as well. So if you've got a current 2011 and 9mm, looks like you'll be able to reuse those magazines if they're in a 17 or a 20-round format, or a 17-round format, I should say. I suppose you could get a stick mag with 50 rounds and you'd probably be doing perfectly fine. Fit and finish, I couldn't ask for more. I am partial. If you were to come in my shop and ask me here and I'm on the floor, hey, I'm looking for a good, inexpensive, not break the bank 1911, what company should I be looking at? And I'm probably going to lead you towards Springfield most of the time. We know that there can be some fit issues for some of their cheaper stuff. Of course, they're going to have a little bit of lower quality for less price. But even those less priced ones always go bang out of the box. We've never had a single issue that we can really pinpoint. They're mechanical items, so of course we've had some failures here and there, but we've never seen one continuous issue come back to the shop. And we move about 4,200 guns a year, so we move a decent amount where we can start to judge what some products have. So as far as a full steel gun from Springfield, man, I wouldn't hesitate to put one of these in my 1911 wall. And I'm about to finish this, walk out here, and I'm going to have to make the decision if that's going to happen or if I'm going to put these out in the retail shop. I snagged myself a couple guns this week already because I'm an absolute gun nut and I should know better. So I'll probably make the call to put these out on the sales floor. But you should be able to find these on your local retailer shelves anytime between now and next week. If they were able to make some purchases a couple months ago when we knew that this product was going to start releasing. Leave your comments below. We'll answer as many questions as we can. Make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube page. We're going to do plenty of reviews like this. We've got our Cerakote series and we also do our podcast. I'm sure that this is going to be a subject we're going to cover in the podcast one of these days coming up soon, because there's several other 1911 fanatics here at the shop. Maybe we'll get a whole collection out and start talking about some of the differences that you see in them all. Thanks for joining us for this review. If, again, you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll jump on there and answer anything you can while we've got them here in shop. Thanks, guys.